So, how many did you get correct? Coming up are the answers to GCN's latest rider impersonations. It was, of course, the Shark of Messina, winner of all 3 Grand Tours at least once, Mr. Vincenzo Nibali. Nibali was thrown off the 2015 Vuelta after being seen holding on to his team car to get back to the front group after he was held up behind a crash and required a change of bikes. Nibali now rides for Bahrain Merida and finished 3rd at the Giro and 2nd at the Vuelta this year.
Ciao, arrivederci. A dopo. Right.
There has only been one true showman in cycling, and that is the Italian Mario Cipollini. This flamboyant sprinter already had 125 wins to his name before he turned pro, and 191 as a pro. He currently has the record for the number of Giro stage wins at 42, and after his career he was investigated and found guilty of tax evasion, but was later acquitted after a subsequent appeal in 2010. You all got this one, didn't you? Nobody else rides quite like Caleb Ewan. But admittedly, Cy came quite close, only at a quarter of the speed. Still only 23 years old, Ewan has already won a stage at the Vuelta and the Giro, and his extreme sprinting position was recently found to be 24% more aero and 14% faster than a conventional sprinting position.
Try to touch your face on the ground.
This was a slightly harder one given that our impersonation wasn't that good, but nevertheless, I'm sure most of you guessed that this was Nairo Quintana. He has won the Vuelta and the Giro in the past amongst many other races, but thus far he's fallen slightly short at the Tour de France, twice coming 2nd and once 3rd. Could 2018 be his year? He was the first rider to win 5 consecutive Tours de France, the gentle giant himself, Miguel Indurain. Indurain won the Tour from 1991 to 1995, but in 96 he was beaten by the Dane Bjarne Riis. Indurain cracked on stage 7 and was begging spectators for food and drink. And to add insult to injury, he was later docked 20 seconds by the race jury for taking a feed in the final few kilometres. He retired later that same year. Shut Up Legs was the giveaway on this one. It could only be Jens Voigt, winner of 2 Tour de France stages, plus 4 overall wins at the Criterium International, and a general all-round hard man. Despite his prowess though, he was beaten by GCN on a Zwift race. Although to be fair, 1, we ganged up on him 2 against 1, and 2, he probably wasn't trying very hard.
I'm beaten, square and fair.
Who could this one have been apart from the great Eddy Merckx of Belgium, the best cyclist of all time, with a palmarès that is unlikely ever to be bettered. Merckx remains the only rider to have won all 5 of the one-day monuments: Milan-San Remo, the Tour of Flanders, Paris-Roubaix, Liège-Bastogne-Liège and the Tour of Lombardy. Slightly unfair this one, but Alexander Kristoff's helmet does often appear to be on the slant, as the pictures you are now seeing clearly show. What a rider though, and how close was he to winning the rainbow band in his home country at the recent World Championships in Bergen. This young French hope has surely got a Tour de France win in him over the next few years. But who is it? That's right, it's Romain Bardet of AG2R or AG Desert. Bardet is known for his attacking style on the climbs and on the descents, but his Achilles heel has always been his time trialling. This man won Paris-Nice 7 years on the trot, another record unlikely to be beaten. It's the great Irish professional cyclist and now Eurosport commentator, Sean Kelly. He was loath to adopt modern technology, famously shunning clipless pedals for a long time, but then he was one of the first to ride with a helmet, which he used en route to winning Milan-San Remo in 1992. Congratulations to all of you who got them correct. We hope you enjoyed the video as much as we did making it. If you haven't subscribed to GCN, you can do so now by clicking on the globe. And if you'd like to see our original impersonations, you can find those in the bottom right corner, whilst our race on Zwift with Jens Voigt is in the left corner.